Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, fellas. As you come into the room, just kind of drop your name in the live chat here on YouTube so I can kind of see who exactly is in the room. That way I know who I'm talking to exactly. So market's going to be opening up here in 5 minutes. Not really. What's up, John? Not really nothing. Samuel, what's going on, buddy? Terry, Marvin. Not really seeing anything, off the hourly chart too significant on the NQ. Currently trading down, 40, 50 points on the NASDAQ. If we just kind of look at, what we did yesterday, obviously it was limited trading hours in the futures market, obviously. Put in a little bit of a pullback here into some, rising hourly support. I believe this is the 100 EMA, right? So we kind of pulled back into this range. We did find a little bit of a bottom here, kind of doing this little bear flag type of dead cat bounce. We've got a lot of supply here on the NQ. It's going to be the 20 SMA as well as the 50, and you've got your top channel here sitting at around 15,545. Okay, so we do have potential to kind of push up 100 points, right? We got potential to push up 100 points, but it could be a little bit of a choppier move. Now, to the downside, if the market's going to pull today, right, meaning, you're going to see the futures down 100, 150, 120, 180, right? It's going to be a down day today. We're going to need to give up this previous hour low, okay? We might have a little bit of room on a 5-minute chart to scalp. However, our bigger moves are going to come off these hourly pivot points with potential, right? So what does that mean? When you have an hourly chart like this on the NQ, notice the gap, okay? Notice the space below the Bollinger Band, previous hour's lows, all the way into this rising 150 simple. That's a lot of room, okay? If you notice to the top side, you've got, supply here, 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 and here. Not saying that it can't break through, but again, if it does break through, we're going to need it to put in that high. We're going to need that high to get confirmed on another hour candle. Now, the new hour candle will get printed at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if we do punch up to the high side off the bell in the first 30 minutes, and let's say, for example, you do miss the move, it's okay. Wait that first 30 minutes, and then we can kind of see what's going on. So let me kind of dive into the ES again. For some of you guys who don't like to use those big ranges, right? And kind of give up 20, 30, 40 points sometimes on these big NQ candles, we can sit back and we can, play the ES. It's a lot slower. Your max loss on the ES 5-minute chart might be something like 4, 5 points, 6 points, right? It's not going to be the end of the world. Also, just understand that we're looking to also take profits. If we can get 4 or 5 handles, we can get 8 handles, we can get 10 handles. Those are really exceptional moves for scalps and day trades on the ES. Again, for the NQ, if we can pick up 15 to 25 points initially on that first, kind of size that we sell out in, that's great. If we hold a runner and we can manage to get 30 points, 35, I'd seriously think about locking it in. Now on the ES, we do have the previous hour candle that closes back above the 20 SMA here. I would really need to see the ES kind of get over all of this consolidation. That's probably going to be closer to around 45.20, okay? So 45.21 is going to have a little bit of space into 45.24. Any close over 45.24 could potentially start pushing up back into the 45.30s, okay? That's the move we would be looking for here. If I do pull up the 5-minute time frame to kind of see if there's anything setting up for a little bit of a scalp here, we're currently in a position now, right? So we've just got the recent close over our 20 SMA. Just kind of keep in mind though, right, with this 20 play here, we had the first one that popped here and we put in this high, okay? Then we got the pullback, which put in a higher low. That would be kind of your max pain. And then we would be looking for this to kind of continue up to the upside with potentials to get into the high mid 45.20s. Okay, I would expect it to come into this range if we do continue. Now, if we don't take out this high and the market starts to push down, you're going to have a little bit of a short position here below 45.12. 45.12 into 45.09 could be a very quick washout again for all of you aggressive scalpers out there. 45.12 potentially going to have room to this Bollinger Band, but the big level that I would look for if the market's going to pull today is to lose these overnight session lows, okay, which printed, you know, around an hour to an hour and a half ago. That price that we would be looking at for some type of washout on the market today would be somewhere below 45.07. So definitely kind of keep that in watch. But again, if you are scalping these 20 SMA plays, you did get your confirmation on this 5-minute candle. Entry price should have been somewhere around 45.17 with the idea of taking measured potential into 45.19, 45.20. So again, it's not that much of a move. It's only 2 to 3 points here. That's why I'm saying, you know, do we have to take each and every single one of these plays when they set up? No. You know, that's completely up to you. Just understand, you know, your stop loss, again, even if you gave it a 1-bar stop, is sitting at around 45.13. So a 1-bar stop is going to give you around a 4-point loss, but just due to the fact that this 1-bar stop here, right, is so close to this low that we held by a point, I would actually give it this area here. Okay, that's just me. So make sure you sized and are sized accordingly. Okay, so what does that mean? You don't want to be, you know, sitting long 50 contracts, have it pull back on you and get trapped. You know, start small, guys, especially we're on a shortened week here. We do not need to rush and force trades. We're getting NVIDIA with a pull here off the open. What I'll really be looking at here for on NVIDIA is, you know, these loss of pre-market lows, which is actually right now at around 47898. So, you know, we got the crack below pre-market lows here. If NVIDIA wants to start confirming these pre-market lows, I would like to look at NVIDIA through 478.50s with potential into 476. Okay, 478.50s on NVIDIA into 476 would definitely be something that I'm interested in looking at. Also, if you guys have any questions on any stocks or ETFs that you guys are looking at, just blurt them out in the chat. Again, I know a lot of us look at a lot of different things. Some of us are options players. Some of us are futures traders. We're all here to make money, you know. So what you may see that looks good, someone else might be trading. So if we look at Tesla here, right? If we look at Tesla, I'm always watching Tesla as well. Tesla and NVIDIA will always be on my watch list along with the NQ. Tesla getting a good punch higher here. Now Tesla's going to be running into a little bit of supply here at around 247.70s. Over 247.70s, you know, potentially could have room to stretch to 249, 250. That's what I would be looking for, trying to target on Tesla. Now notice here the opening 5-minute candle, if you did get in long, again, it set up, you know, basically trying to break out here over the pre-market highs. This initial push on a 5-minute candle is 249s. So again, you know, if you are long on Tesla, I would definitely have full intentions of taking profits into 249, right? 249, 248. Again, because if you just look at what the pre-market candle printed, there was that first close above the 20 SMA here. Again, that entry price could have been 245 with room to 246.20s and then 247. So, you know, we're in the middle of this move here off the open. Again, if you missed it, now we have to wait, right? Now we have to wait. The last thing that, you know, we're going to do is be chasing this move here. Because if Tesla's going to continue to push higher, it's going to have to take out 249.30s. Okay, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to get that opportunity on a new candle. Okay, on a new candle. And if we look at the hourly chart here on Tesla, We've got that break back above its 20 SMA on an hourly chart. So again, you can kind of see here, the current highs over 248.5 do have room to 250. So this could definitely be a trade that we could look to take at the top of the hour if it gets confirmed, right? You let it put in its first move here. You let it kind of take out the pre-market action, and then you punch higher. The NQ, the NQ that we were going over here was, you know, I said there's not a lot going on, right? There's not a lot going on. We're stuck in a rock and a hard place here. It's not like, you know, we're in any type of anticipation to, you know, jump long right off the first 5 seconds of the market here. You know, if we get a setup, we get a setup. But what I'm looking for here on the NQ, we've got a lot of supply ahead, you know, 15.490s, you know, we've got 15.510s and 15.520s all acting as areas of supply. In order for the NQ in tech to really push higher, you know, I'm going to need to see this thing get over 15.555. Until we do that, you know, I would look for the rejection spots on the move down here. And if the NQ starts to lose, the previous hour's lows, potentially we're going to have some good room here. Okay. Zoom out so you can see more of it. Okay. So let's see how you guys want to see the chart a little bigger. Oh, you guys can't see the prices. I don't even know how that works. Marv, so I'm gonna have to figure out here how to adjust it so we can, I can't really drag it on this screen recording to bring that price into play here, but I will figure it out for you. Yeah, it should be, it should be a quick thing here. Give me it should be a quick thing. I don't know why it's cropping out on the live stream. So for example, if you're going to trade, Samuel, if you're going to be trading the NQ, you have to understand the risk first, right? I'm assuming that because you're watching NQ, you've already been trading the NQ. Understand the ranges this early in the bell, they could be very, very big, right? So you could be looking at 25, 35 points of risk if this move goes against you. There's no other real way around that. So right now, if we kind of just analyze what's going on here on the NQ, over the last hour's time, we got rejected at our 200 SMA. Okay, I'll make this very simple. We got rejected here at our 200 SMA. We pulled all the way back down into our bottom Bollinger Band, right? And then we tried to make that a second attempt, could not take out the recent highs. So what I'm looking for here on the NQ is I need to see the NQ at least, okay, at least for me, get over 15,500. It's got to clear out 15,500 before I can even think that I'm going to have some good potential here for this move to stretch. Okay, for this move to stretch here, I'm going to need that to get over these two high wicks. And to the downside, yes, it is setting up a little bit of a 20 play here. But one thing that I do want to point out here, these 20 SMA plays that you guys see me talking about on YouTube, it doesn't mean we take every single one of them. Okay, that's where being a good trader is going to come in. We have to kind of analyze and put ourselves in a situation to where we are going to be having the highest level of success and probabilities, right? So for example, if the initial pull was down and we got rejected at our 200 SMA, and then we got another down move here, followed by another little bit of a dead cat bounce, I want you guys to notice how we're trading with inside of a range here, right? So essentially, what do I want to see happen? I want one of these sides, whether it's to the high side or to the bottom, to break before I get interested in going to that side, playing over under the 20 SMA, okay? because what's going to happen here, if the market continues to chop around like this and be range bound, someone's going to get short here. They're not going to sell. They're going to get stopped out. You're going to go long here. You're not going to sell. You're going to get stopped out, right? So again, you know, you're going to get long here. You're not going to sell, or no to sell to take profits there. You're going to get stopped out. So we need to see something break here. We're getting a nice push up here on the NASDAQ futures. Again, this is what I want to see being taken out. That price is going to be the previous 5-minute wick, okay? So until we can take out that previous 5-minute wick, you got to sit on your hands, right? And until we can lose the bottom Bollinger Band here, and I would say at least lose 15,444, we've got to sit on our hands. So let's wait and see what exactly we do here. Aaron, did you take the Tesla? Right, guys, keep your eyes on the NQ here to take out those high wicks. Again, a little bit of a 5-minute double top here on the NQ. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you have any questions or clarity that you need addressed, yeah, just shoot it out and I'll try to do my best to you know, at least give you guys a thought process. Again, I know you're a little new to the room, Sam. So I will never be a room that's going to sit here and tell you guys, hey guys, buy here, do this, sell that. You know, it's not my MO. I don't just provide signals. You're getting a little bit of the confirmation here on the 20 SMA, guys. If you are going to take this long, if anyone did jump this 20 SMA here over the 200, understand that this candle is very, very large. Okay, you're looking at about a 25 to 30 point. Yeah, it's Monday, Aaron. Those prices are going to be juiced. Guys, did anyone take this 20 SMA play here that just set up, that did break the top of the range here? So we're breaking the top of the range. We needed that 5-minute candle to be broken. If you do get long here, instead of using the reason why candle over the 20 SMA as a stop, you could use your entry candle as well. Okay, so we can tighten up that stop loss because again, this is going to be from 491 down to 450. That's a 40-point range. We could use this candle here. The current candle, again, let me make this clear. The current candle that is printing on a 5-minute time frame, if you are in long, you can use that low wick as a stop, okay? Or you can give it the 5 SMA, which is sitting at around 15,479. That would be a good indication that to kind of let you know that there, you know, the change in trend or, you know, this up move is no longer working. But again, you know, your true entry should have been either, okay, either if you were going to take the 20 SMA around the 91s or somewhere over the 97, 98s with potential, right? You know, even the 97, 98s went up 10 points. And if you got in above the 200, went up, I don't know, you know, maybe 15 points. But again, when you have a setup on the 5-minute time frame, the best thing to do is toggle between the 5 and the 1 hour chart. Now, if you're wondering, well, why did we break that high side and why is it having trouble stalling out? The 1 hour chart is why. Okay, the 1 hour chart is why. For us day traders, the 1 hour chart is going to be your absolute lifeline. We use the 5-minute time frame to manage our trades and find potential entries. However, we have to respect the 1 hour chart, and the 1 hour chart has been rudely and harshly rejected here at the 100 simple moving average, okay, along with its 20. Bagged 5 points. You absolutely kill it on the ES, my man. Guys, you guys who trade the ES, you know, you guys need to get in Discord. He's Thunder on YouTube, Dr. D. But this guy absolutely is an insane trader when it comes to ES. Again, you know, and also he's looking for 4, 5, 6 handles, right? A lot of times it's get in, size yourself appropriately, take those quick 5 handles, right? Take those quick 5 handles, lock it up, right? Again, some people may think, hey, you know what, 5 handles is not that much, but after that, it's all position sizing, guys. It's all position sizing, right? Yes, sure, maybe 5 handles on one micro contract on the MES is not a lot. However, some people could be playing 5 mini contracts on the ES, so 5 points is exceptional, right? So again, it's position sizing based on number 1, your account size, obviously, okay? And 2, whether you're trading a personal account or a prop firm account, we have to kind of understand how much can we really risk and what is a realistic expectation. Yes, You know, making $10,000 days, what you see on social media looks fucking great, but the odds and probabilities of you doing it on a day in and day out basis are slim to none, right? You gotta really question, you know, when you see those type of things. And I'm not saying question them in a negative way, because again, you know, who are we to sit here and say that what we see on social media with, you know, every 19-year-old kid seeming to, you know, make $50,000 a trade is not accurate. But I'm just saying, right? Let's be realistic. What we would be looking for here now on the ES, guys, if we, I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame, right? I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame. If okay, big if we close down here at the bottom of the range, ES would be a short position. Anything below this Bollinger Band here, 45.05, you know, within the next 15 minutes, if that holds and we get confirmed, our next support is 44.96. 44.96 is going to be our next level. If the market continues to pull at the top of the hour, again, that's because the first hour candle's closing, we would get a confirmation. I would look for the ES to kind of drag its ass into 44.96. Again, I don't know if anyone did get long on Tesla, right? I don't know if anyone did get long on Tesla, but I want to quickly show you guys why we stopped, right? Notice the red line here, right? Notice the red line here. Again, some of you guys who haven't been in the room that long don't really understand the whole chart yet, or how to put it all together, right? In correlation to 5-minute 20 SMA plays or scalps, whatever. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. This is a 50 SMA here. It's going to act as an area of resistance. We're looking at that 253.40s to act as a heavy area of resistance here on Tesla. Tesla would need to clear this out with to then give any more potential into 255.5. Okay, so again, this was a hell of a move on Tesla already. I wouldn't be surprised if Andre snagged it. This guy's always looking to be sitting on Tesla. We'll have to see here. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if anyone took that. It's a fucking hell of a move though. I missed it, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even look at Tesla until Aaron kind of said. What I want you guys to kind of look at here is NVIDIA's taking out those pre-market highs here. I like NVIDIA over 46.33, guys, at the top of the hour. I like NVIDIA over 46.33 or whatever the high price is going to be here when this candle closes in around 14 minutes. So this is a nice move here on NVIDIA. Okay, very nice move on NVIDIA. NVIDIA's got potential to hit 490s. And, you know, being that it's barely going, you know, red to green here, only up $1, we know and we understand, you know, NVIDIA can trade $10 up, down, $15 up, down in a day. We can potentially catch $1, $2 here on this thing at the top of the hour. So let's keep an eye on, it was the 1 hour time frame. Let's keep an eye on NVIDIA over these hour highs, right? Let's keep an eye on NVIDIA over these hours highs. I do not like the disconnect on some tech names, okay? I've got NVIDIA and Tesla pushing higher. I've got Amazon pushing to the downside. I don't like seeing that. Does anyone have eyes on Apple? What's Apple doing? I don't like seeing the huge disconnect in tech space like that. Normally, your trend days is when everything runs together. When everything moves together as one, those typically are the better days. Again, I don't see nothing on Amazon here. Nothing on Amazon. Yeah, Apple rejected too. So Apple needs to what? I would say what do you got on Apple? I mean, over 188.60s, over 188.60s, maybe potential $1, maybe 80 cents on Apple. Is that what you got, Andre? I know you were coming in this week looking at Apple to the long side off the daily chart, which looked good. Yeah, daily chart on Apple does look good. Guys, I want you to notice the daily chart here on Apple. Yeah, 188.60s, guys. If you guys are interested in Apple, 188.60s needs to get confirmed. Apple's daily chart looks good. We punched in over the 50-day moving average 3 days ago. We pulled right back into our rising support here. If Apple can get going and start to, you know, push higher and potentially you know, get over that 188.60s today and close somewhere around 190s. Apple looks really, really good for continuation. But again, you know, a lot of tech right now is a little disconnected. I really hope that they don't take the range out, on my ass here on the video. Like the last thing I want to see is Nvidia punch into 490s before this hour candle closes. Stay here, right? Stay here. My luck that they're going to run this thing all the way up. So if we just look at the 5-minute time frame here, why I'm saying 490s, guys, look at the 5-minute time frame on Nvidia. Notice the congestion, right? When I say congestion, I'm talking about my moving averages. Notice the congestion that's going on Nvidia's 5-minute time frame below. Notice the airspace above, right? So again, we might have a position here over 487.35, guys. Over 487.35, you could probably use probably 485, 484 as a stop. That's going to be about a 250 stop. But again, you know, if you're not comfortable trading with a $2 stop on these names, you know, you've got to look other places. Everyone likes to trade the big names. They don't like the potential of pullbacks. Well, why do you think majority of people like trading in Nvidia and Tesla? Because when this thing goes, when they go, right? So what also comes along with big wins can be potentially big losses, right? Big stop losses. So that's why I'm always really stressing, figure out your position size, guys. Figure out your position size. Do you know how many contracts you play? Okay. And again, it's not always about the number of contracts. It's the amount of premium, guys. It's the amount of premium. So, you know, for me, I know how much I want to put into trades, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and, you know, sometimes put in $1,000 into a trade, sometimes put in $20,000 into a trade. That's stupid. It doesn't make any sense, because what happens if I lose on the trade with 20,000 and I win on a trade with 1,000? I'm going to be ass upside down backwards, right? Position sizing always has to be the same, right? Because one loss is going to wipe out a string of 5 or 6 wins if you're jumbling around on position sizing, right? So, you know, in this particular situation, right? In this particular situation on Nvidia, if I was to play it, contracts are going for it that I would look to play, which I might look to get in this play here, guys. Give me a second. 487.33. 487.33. They're going for around anywhere between 6. Yeah, AMD is good. If you don't like playing Nvidia's range, AMD is good. Let me take a look at the chart. Let's see again. Look at the disconnect, guys. Look at the disconnect. Do we got news, guys? Do we got news on AMD? Why do we have AMD declining and we've got Nvidia punching higher? That's what I don't like. Disconnect. I do not like disconnect in the market. Anyways, we still have that rejection here at 489, 490 on Nvidia. That's a level that we're going to need to keep on watch here going into the new hour. The new hour candle is going to form here in around 8 to 9 minutes, guys. So again, you know, be patient, right? Be patient. In order for Nvidia to go higher, right, guys? In order for Nvidia to go higher, doesn't it have to take out the highs of the first hour candle? So are we really missing anything? No, we're not, right? So again, back to position sizing. If these contracts, right? If these contracts on Nvidia were right at the money, right? Whether you're one in or you're one out, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. You know, you're looking anywhere between $600 and let's call it $800, right? So if you're someone who has, you know, you play $1,000, well, then you can afford to buy one contract, right? When you go and you play something like Apple and the contracts are, let's say, $150, what should be your position sizing, right? If you're going to play $1,000, it should be $1,000 across the board on whatever you're playing. So for example, for me, if I'll just use myself in its example, because you know, I can criticize, ridicule, and, you know, pump myself up, I will play anywhere between 6 to 8,000 a trade, right? A trade. That doesn't mean that that's my risk, that I'm willing to lose that on a trade. Of course not. Let's not be ridiculous here. But that's what I'm looking at in premium, between 6 and 8. So however many contracts I can afford, whether it's 10, you know, I like to keep it around 10. It's just a nice, easy number for me. I like to scale out on 10, you know, and then maybe on the smaller stocks that are a little bit less, I might play like 4 or 5,000, right? But I know how much my position sizing is. So once you get very comfortable with your position sizing, you also get comfortable as to what it feels like to take wins, right? And what it feels like to take those losses. Because if I'm used to winning 400 or 500 or 600 or whatever your number is, right? When you see that number on the screen mentally, you start to become very, very comfortable in taking those profits there, okay? If you're normally losing trades, 300, 400, okay, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or to do this a million times to like, hey, you know what? If I'm normally losing $300 or $400, why am I still holding this trade down 3,000? Right? I'm just giving up, you know, stupid numbers, but it's like, you know, I'll see traders do that, not necessarily in the room, but like I'll just see this kind of stuff on social media where it's like, you know, oh, I took a big loss today, and it's like, why? You know, it's like, what do you normally lose? You know, like if your normal stop loss based on your strategy is giving you like $500 and like whatever, like you're willing to lose the 500 on your strategy, how would you ever get blown out 5,000? You know, it makes no sense. Because at that point, you're not trading, you're a gambler. At that point, you're not trading, you're desperate. At that point, you're not trading, you're wishing, right? We do not wish. Either something fucking happens or it doesn't. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not here to sugarcoat this for anyone, right? You will lose trades. You are going to lose a lot of trades. Ingrain that in your fucking heads right now that you're going to lose and lose a lot. So how much do you want to lose that in order for you to be able to sit through the probabilities and come out on the other side? Because again, I don't care what strategy you trade. I don't care where you guys learned it from. I don't care whether you guys are going to continue to trade my strategy for, you know, the depths of lengths of time, right? It doesn't really matter. Any strategy out there is going to work if there is a slight probable edge. And I'm looking at 15-year-olds trading on social media right now using the VWAP, right? They're throwing a VWAP on there. They're throwing up a 9. It's like when this is okay, fine. I don't really care. But as long as you know how to trade that strategy, okay, and as long as you can stomach the losses, because with every edge, with every strategy, you're going to have a string of the losses. If we can't stomach those, meaning, you know, we're going to emotionally let our emotions take over, we're going to get blown out before we even see the other side. And that's generally what happens to a lot of traders. We have some success using some particular formula or variation of a strategy, and it's like one loss or two losses takes everything away, and it's back to ground zero. And we start thinking to ourselves, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe this is not the system. Maybe this is not the strategy. Maybe it's the market. And start blaming everyone else when you're not even giving enough time. You're oversized. And the problem is that everyone, myself included, is always looking for the imaginary finish line. There is no end game here with trading, guys. This is what it is. If you're looking for another level of excitement, you're not going to get it. Every single day is the same. It's like this. It should be calm. It should be boring. I tell people all the time, especially the people that have been with me in the room for a long time, Biggs, Andre, this is the stupidest business that you can do where you can make a lot of money. This is a stupid business that we're doing. We're sitting here watching, you know, what almost looks like a 1980s video game on the screen here, and we're clicking the mouse button here. We're not doing brain surgery. We're not doctors. Remember that. You're not saving lives. So what I want to tell you guys here is that you need to stay in business. NVIDIA's also got just rejected at the linear regression. It's now losing the 20 SMA, guys. If NVIDIA starts to confirm this at the top of the hour to the downside, 480, 165, potentially could be some room here. I would be looking to target maybe 480s. Not a lot of room. $1.50. Not a lot of room on Nvidia. But again, maybe potentially 478 here. Let's give a look at the hourly chart. You know, guys, I don't like to go off on rants, but I do have to keep it real because a lot of people, again, I don't know where most of you guys came from. If you haven't been trading with me for that long, where you guys are getting your knowledge, where you're getting your resource from. There's a lot of people out there that sugarcoat this shit, right? That sugarcoat it. My strategy this, my strategy that, you know, oh, this is the correct way of trading. This is not the correct way of trading. Guys, there's thousands of ways to trade. My system and what I use and how I read the charts is no better than anyone else's. It's no better than the next guy's, right? I just know that it provides me enough of an edge to be profitable, to pay my mortgage, to put money in my fucking pocket, to put food on the table, to put my son through college, to do all of this other stuff, right? If it works for me, it can work for someone else. Again, does every strategy or trading style work for every trader? Of course not, because everyone's trader genetic makeup is different. Some people are not scalpers. Some people can't hold trades long. So we have to kind of adjust, right? We have to adjust and figure out what works for us. Quick example. Thunder's a really good example here. He trades the ES. He trades it really well. He gets his 4 or 5 points and he gets out. Okay. Someone else is out there who, when they have 5 points, the first thing that they think is, maybe I can go and get 8. Maybe this goes up higher and it gets 9, right? Maybe this gets 10, right? And it doesn't, and it pulls back, and now they lose money. And now they wonder, well, what happened, right? Well, what happened is you got greedy. Like, you understand what you're trading and understand, you know, the average moves here. I hope that makes sense to all of you guys out there. Again, you know, that's the best way that I can put it. Nvidia is confirming to the downside. Andre, what do you got on the video? What do you got on the video? You seeing anything that I'm not seeing here? I have support at 480. That's what I don't like. I got support at 480. And I got the previous hour's lows at 478.39. I don't know if I want to gamble on the 5-minute chart here on this. Huh. 478.60. Yeah, Bollinger Band. 478.58. Yeah, something like that. Give or take 10-15 cents. So, yeah, 476.59. Yeah. But see, like, on what I don't like, right, and this is for everyone in the room, when I yeah, this looks like a good short here with potential, but when I analyze it, you know, I don't know if I want to gamble on this, right? Like, I don't know if I want to put my risk on the table and stop loss here or there. This looks like a pop, rejection, pullback for a continuation to the high side here, right? Like, the last thing I want to do is short, which, you know, this is probably going to run into 478, to be honest. But it's just, if you short here and then it's just trapping, right? It's just trapping and then comes to the back up to the upside. You got to be quick. 478.40s would be the profit target, guys. Or 478.30s. 478.30s, guys. SMA at the low wick of the 150. What are you talking about? This is, I'm looking at a 5-minute chart. So you want me to go to the 1-hour chart, and we're looking at the low wick, you said, what? The low wick of day on the 150? So I've got that price at around 478.50s, right? This SMA is the 150. Simple. Is that what you're talking about? This one? The yellow one? What are you talking about, bro? For NVIDIA, the SMA. What's the SMA? What are you talking about? I just told you the 150 simple moving average. You even said it. You said the 150. What do you mean? You're just saying that you don't have this here, so you didn't see that? Is that what you're saying? Andre? Yeah, didn't have the 150 on my chart. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's where we stopped previous hour. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, guys, also, me and Andre will banter back and forth with each other. Like, you guys got to understand, Andre lives here where I live in my hometown. We're like, he's my blood related cousin, so we've been trading together for a long time. Me and him will definitely shoot the shit back and forth to each other. Just in case anyone. Penguins and puts. What is Penguin saying in Discord? Anyone on Penguin here? Penguin has got a quick trigger finger here with NVIDIA. So he's on puts. We want to make sure, again, that's another thing, guys, for all of you newer traders in here. We want to make sure our guys don't get crushed, right? If we see something that doesn't look right, we've got to let our team know. Again, at the end of the day, this is a team effort here. If we're going to make money, we're going to make money together, correctly? So we want to make sure we're not getting blown out. So if he is short here, one thing that we got to be careful, we need to start breaking down. We need to start breaking down these lows. Got a lot of supply ahead now here on NVIDIA 5-minute. I would look for some type of continuation through 479.60s. I'd be looking for the levels that me and Andre were just talking about. Yeah, he needs to be. Penguin needs to be a little careful here on the ES. Futures, guys, how are we doing out there on the future side of things? Has anyone, I know Thunder took a little bit of a win on the ES here. I'll be watching the futures here, 45.03 short on ES, 1 hour time frame, has room to 44.96. Let's see if that level gets confirmed. As far as the NQ, guys, if some of you guys who are in here, ES stopped you out twice. Sam, you're over trading then? What did you do, Sam? Again, first day in the room, we don't need to get overzealous here. You're getting stopped out because we haven't clearly broken out of any range here. So give me those times that you took the trades and where we took the trades and how big were those losses. The last thing we want to do is get absolutely killed. So one thing, if you guys can look at my chart, Sam, you especially, since you're trading the ES here, or the NQ, look at the NQ's lows, look at the NQ's highs. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We need to break down or break higher before we can go, okay? So what does that mean? So that doesn't mean that as soon as we break this on a wick here, that we just get long, because you're gonna get stopped out. You need to have, if this is the high, okay, what you need to have happen is we need to close over that high, okay? We need to close over that high, and then a new candle needs to confirm the new high that has taken out our top levels. Does that make sense? So this is not our entry. It would be this candle would be our entry. Does that make sense? So again, We have to, first things first, protect ourselves. So make sure we're sized accordingly. Again, Sam, there's nothing wrong with taking losses. Trust me, brother, we're going to take a shitload of losses. We just want to make sure that we're taking calculated losses that are not going to blow us out. So again, I'm not going to be, like, don't misconstrue my sometimes excitement in tonality of voice for being a dick. Okay, I never want anyone that I'm a very like animated type of guy. I get very, very animated with my voice. Again, it's just to emphasize, because I want everyone to learn, and I do want everyone to grow, and I don't want to be over trading, and also I don't want to be taking trades that I know necessarily we don't need to take. For you guys who have followed me and come into the room through YouTube, and you guys see the back test, or you see the video recaps on, well, if we would have taken this 20 SMA play here, look at it, ran for 100 points. Guys, I'm finding trades, particularly in that day, that look good to give the example. Now, when you come to a situation like today, this move stopped out, this move stopped out, this move stopped out, this move stopped out, this move stopped out. However, you're getting stopped out all day, right? I'm not speaking to you, Sam. I'm speaking to anyone in general. You're getting stopped out back and forth when realistically, right? Realistically, look at the range, right? We're doing nothing but going back and forth. So what would we look to do? Buy at demand. Buy, buy, buy. Sell at supply. Okay? When we come back up here, we start selling again. Okay? Now, there will be a trade if you're doing that type of range trading where you're going to be selling up here, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to get stopped out, and it's going to go. But once it does that, that's how you know that this cycle is broken. Okay? Makes sense? So the market is choppy right now. Can you make money? Sure, right? Like, I mean, of course we can make money. Is it the most ideal price action today? No. The most ideal price action is when we get a confirmation over pre-market highs or lows, and everything kind of gets confirmed at the top of the hour and just continues in our favor, right? Those are A+ days. Those are days we really want to accelerate on. Those are days where we really want to put our foot to the gas. Days like today, as of the first 30 to 40 minutes here, not so ideal, especially in tech. Again, if the ES, right? The ES did provide a little bit more of a cleaner move today to the short side, okay? So to the short side, that ES provided a little bit cleaner of a wave, right? It provided a cleaner of a wave versus the back and forth of the NQ, right? Yeah, Marv, still shaking off the you're still shaking off the old cobwebs from the long weekend, huh? It's good to get those long holiday weekends, man. As traders, we need them. A lot of times we spend too much time looking at this stuff. Gotta go out there and live a little bit, you know? Tesla was the move, huh? Tesla was the move to the long side here. Did anyone take that today? Tesla over previous hours highs here, getting over this 50 SMA could potentially have room to 255, guys. Again, we broke the 50 SMA on the 1 hour time frame. We put in a new high, 253.40s. So 253.40s needs to continue to run. You know, I would have full anticipation of taking profits into 255 if you are long. If you are long. Also, Sam, what do you play, NQ or MNQ? Are you playing minis or micros? So you're playing minis. How many contracts are you playing? And again, if you're playing on a personal account, I don't need to know what size your account is, but are you playing on a personal account, meaning you're using a personal brokerage to trade futures, or are you trading for a prop firm? Are you funded, or are you still on evaluation? RTY tanked. Putts small caps are tanking. Anyone got eyes on any small caps stocks, those option traders out there? The IWM, is anyone on the IWM? You're on an eval. Okay. Again, last question. Are we trading on a prop firm that has a trailing intraday drawdown? Like, are we on Apex, or are we on Top Step, or what prop firm are we using? Because there's a specific way to trade some of these prop firms a little bit different than the others. Top Step. Okay, so you've got no intra trailing drawdown, which is fine. Top Step's good. I was just going to say, if you were on something like Apex where they have that intraday trailing drawdown, we have to treat Apex as a scalp only account, because we can't allow moves to run up and then come back against us, because that high water mark gets tailed. Again, you know what I'm talking about if you trade Apex. Again, guys, don't get crazy here on the NQ. It's just going back and forth. It's very, very trapped. We're getting the Bollinger Bands to constrict here, so we are going to get a move coming here. I would say within the next hour, we will be breaking out or breaking down. That's going to be the eventual move that you're going to want to get into. Again, if I kind of simplify things for a minute here, and also, Sam, I would highly, highly, highly consider trading micros. So switch over to the MNQ. Again, I know it sucks. It's you don't get the big wins, but we're not going to blow ourselves out, right? Top Step doing a little bit of a better job here to kind of protect their traders, where they're going to stop you out on the day at $1,000 loss. But if we are trading even one mini contract, 2, 3 potentially chopped trades, 2 or 3 potentially chopped trades, trading minis can blow your account. Yeah, it's a 3,000. It's a, oh, so you're on what? Are you on the 150 eval? Are you on the 150? Or the 100? Yeah, okay. So you've got that 3,000. Again, that's fine. Yeah, it's Marv. I mean, not Marv. Sam, even if your drawdown is 3,000, I get it. That's still, it's not a lot. It's not a lot when we're talking about minis, and it's not a lot when we're talking about the NQ. We can make really good money trading the NASDAQ. It's just, we've got to be careful. I would say, and honestly, this is what traders don't want to do, and this is what really stunts their progression. Trade micros. I would say no more than 3 to 5. Look to make $100. Look to make $200. Do that for 20 trades. Yeah, it's going to suck. It's going to take a week. It's going to take 2 weeks. But you know what it's going to also do? It's going to keep you in this game. Okay? There's no rush to pass this Top Step account today, tomorrow. Okay? Regardless if it takes us 7 days to pass, 3 days to pass, or 30 days to pass, it doesn't matter. The goal is passing. We are not trying to pass in one day on one trade, you know, or like if I take, you know, XYZ trades today, if I can just make this, no, don't look at it that way, because when you look at it that way, you're going to get to a point where, let's say you do get funded, and you're going to treat it the same way, and you're going to get blown out. So what if I simplify things here, guys, and I take off everything on my chart, right? And I was to draw some supply and some demand zones. What the hell? If I was to draw my supply and demand zones, if I can get my mouse to cooperate. I would take the high wick, and that would be the top of my zone, and I would at least include the other wicks here. Give myself a little bit of a range. I'm going to change this to red, knowing that, you know, hey, every time we're getting in this zone, we seem to be getting some selling pressure. And if I was to mark out the bottom here, right? If I was to mark out the bottom, create a little bit of a demand zone. Again, I want to use the low of day, even from the overnight session, and I want to kind of include at least some multiple wicks here. Give me multiple touch points. I'm going to make this green. This is where buyers are going to be stepping in at. Now, when we zoom out and we look at this, right? If we zoom out and we look at this, where's the market going? Where are we going? Are we going up or are we going down? We're going sideways, right? Like we're going nowhere. What needs to happen here is the NQ. You know, if you want to see some continuation, you don't want to get stopped out, you don't want to get chopped up. What we need to see have happen here, 15,507 needs to get broken. And as soon as that gets broken, we've got to put in a high over that, and we've got to confirm that before we can try to at least get some continuation here. The 200 SMA is flat. That's a good thing. You know, we could be looking for the long here. If the move breaks out to the long side, it's very good. It's not declining, it's not rising, it's flat essentially. We're getting the 20 SMA to slowly kind of creep up here. If we take a look at a 2-minute, look at the action on the 2-minute. Very, very choppy. But look at every time we've come into this zone here, right? Now that we've got this zone established, buy, 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 sell, sell. But when we do break out, that's going to be the move, right? So again, if you have been range trading, going back and forth, you will have that one trade where you will get stopped out, because that's going to be letting you know, hey, this range trading that you've been doing is no longer in play anymore. Okay, if we're looking at a 2-minute time frame here, we can use this entry, right? We can use this entry to potentially try to go long, but just understand that the odds of it breaking out so far are 0% until we break out. And so far on the ES, guys, we've had one trade that confirmed, and it was a nice little move, 45.13 all the way down to 45.04. So let's call it a 10-point drop. Now we're forming a base here off the open. Again, you know, this trade short came right off the bell. We're trading below a flat 200 and below a 20 SMA. So as of right now, this is the first drop. We're going to be coming into a little bit of resistance here. Is it to confirm a new low? Then that would be your entry here below the low of day. Or if we're looking for that long position, right? If we're looking for that long position, we've really got to get back over 45.13, guys. And the biggest thing we can do as traders is be patient. There's no rush, guys. We're getting a nice move now higher here. Now we're starting to confirm here. Look at the 1-hour chart on the NQ, guys. If we can start taking out the previous hour's high, again, look at the 5-minute very quickly, right? Look at the 5-minute. Look at the range that we're in, okay? Look at the range. This range is telling you to stay patient, okay? Stay patient. Unless you've been range trading, right? Unless you've been playing the ups and downs, the zigs and the zags, stay patient. Because look at the hourly. We've got to take out the previous hour's highs. Guys, if you're on the video, Andre's got it over the 10 SMA on the hourly chart here. Look at the previous hour's highs here on NQ. That price is sitting at that 15,506. That could be a long position there, guys, for you guys trading the NQ. 15,506 could definitely be something. Again, let's use a 1-bar stop, whether that's the previous 5-minute candle or the entry candle that you take. But again, over 15,506 is confirming the 20 SMA on a 1-hour time frame, and it is confirming the previous hour's highs. That could be potential for the NQ to go from red to green, okay? Here's the move, there's the break. If anyone is in on that trade, if anyone's going to be in on that trade, we're getting the video to punch up here. I'm going to pull up the bigger chart. I'm going to pull up the bigger chart. $484.50s, 484.40s, 484.50s on the video. Potentially has room to 486, guys. We still need to get over that. On a 1-hour chart here on the video, NVIDIA's got a little bit of this hourly supply here at 45.30s that I'd like to see it get over. What's Tesla doing, guys? Tesla's still stuck here at that 50 SMA. 255 is potential for Tesla. Guys, let's keep an eye on Meta over previous hour's highs. That would be taking out the opening range here. Meta's up $2 on the day, but it does have room over that let's call it 298.92. Over, let's call it 299, guys. 299 on Meta. Does anyone see that on Meta? Microsoft running into the linear regression supply, 331. Microsoft needs to get over 331. So on the NQ, now that we've broken that top range, we've closed above it. We put in a new high, we pulled back. What I'm looking for here on the NQ is I want this to hold. This has to hold now, right? If this falls all the way back to the bottom of the range, guys, we could be looking at a long day here, okay? We could be looking at a long day here. I need this to hold. Is there any news today? Is there anyone speaking today? Like, are we waiting for anything here in the markets? Or is this just a little bit of a Labor Day jet lag here coming back into the market? We're not really getting a lot of follow through on anything here. Tomorrow. What do we have tomorrow? PMI. 1 second, guys. I gotta take a phone call. All right, guys, sorry about that. Good trade on the Nvidia. Any of you options guys, pull up Nvidia and kind of see where Andre took that trade. I got into a Nvidia also as well, but a little bit late. Also closed out that position. I'll go over that trade in just a minute here, but for you futures guys, I want you guys to kind of look at the move that's happening here. So we broke out of that top of the range. We immediately pulled back into rising support here into that 20 SMA. Okay, so on the NQ, we broke out through the range, pulled back into the 20 SMA, and are holding. We need to hold this 20 SMA for continuation on tech. If we start to lose 15,468 at any point in time in the day, we could be coming back down to the 40s on the NQ. You might have your opportunity to take that short position, losing these lows here, right? Through this bottom support, that's going to be 468, potential to get down to 440s. To the high side here, what we still want to see on the NQ now is just more continuation, right? Just more continuation. Futures guys, what are you guys looking at here on the futures side of things? The ES is still being contained here. I want to show you guys something here on the ES, right? If we kind of relax a little bit, zoom out and look at what's actually going on here. Here's the open, right? Here's the open. Why is that so big? Here's the open on the ES. We put in a floor, or we put in a low. We consolidated, okay? We bounced right into this supply, got rejected, and now back down again. So momentum is down, okay? For sure is down. When when you have a downtrend, you're kind of ignoring the pops if you're not accumulating on consolidation, right? Meaning that if you're not going to use the low wick as a stop and just kind of sit in a move here, and just kind of wait to take some profits, if you're not doing that, you've got to ignore the pops until we start to take out these levels of supply. I would need on the ES, 45.13 to get taken out. 45.13 on the ES to get taken out. And then maybe we've got some potential, right? Now to the downside, if we start to lose the low of day, you might have a little bit of opportunity into 4,500. I really wouldn't look to yeah. So Terry, so you're short. What price are you short at? Let's kind of see here what we're working with, right? Let's give ourselves some ideas here. So at what price are you short at on the ES? 45.10. So your VWAP is kind of, those runners might get stopped out here as we backtest this 20 SMA. Your VWAP is kind of correlating with my 20 SMA at the moment. So we're not far off here. So I see we got rejected a couple of times here. We flushed down 45.02. So you sold two. Good. 45.10. Yeah, maybe you can use break even as a stop, right? If we use break even as a stop on those two runners, at least you took a little profits on the way down. You can look for another setup here. You know, if it starts to pop over the 20 SMA, you know, 45.08, 45.09, potentially has room to 45.10, and then 12, and then 13. It's a very choppier. Yeah, so far it's respecting that. So far it's respecting that. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. Just keep an eye on it. We don't want to let it get away from us too much. If it does decide to reclaim. Yeah, so far. You're getting the again, once again, here we go again with the NQ getting rejected back in this zone, right? We still can't take out the high side again. You know what I'm looking for here, really honestly, guys, for you guys on the future side of things. And here's a nasty pull. Let's see, what is the ES doing? You might be able to make a little bit of money here. Are we pulling back on the ES as well? Let's see here. ES is still kind of holding here. Yeah, I mean, so far we just have this whole, like, since the 10 minutes off the open, this whole range here, you know, buyers are pretty comfortable stepping in, and the sellers are still sitting up here between 410 and 413. This is definitely a choppy range today, guys. Again, you know, some of you guys are new to the room, some of you guys have barely come in. These are not the days where we're really looking to, you know, retire, right? These are not the days where, you know, we're looking to really get excited about. If we can make a little money on a day like today, respectfully, great, right? Great. But the price action is subpar. So again, if we're trading today and you're getting stopped out, or you have a winner and you give a little bit of profits back, don't be down on yourself as a trader. You are not doing nothing wrong. It's clearly obvious here that we are stuck within a range, right? It's clearly obvious. Again, you know, as we're talking about, Terry, this thing probably going to shoot up here, huh? 45.08, 45.08, and 45.11 for rejection here again. It's the only thing is I don't even want, Terry, for you to like lose money on your runners here. Like, I don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's worth it to lose any money here. Now we're getting a very strong green candle. This market is bipolar. We're getting a strong green candle. Guys, future side Meta, we had that level in there earlier. Meta's popping here, guys. Terry, be careful on that. If anything, just get out, buddy. You've got You've got Meta on NQ confirming that high side price that we were looking at, guys. Anyone long on the NQ right now? We've got a very aggressive candle on the 5-minute time frame here on the NQ. That Meta punching up as well. Look at that Meta's hourly chart, guys. Getting that hourly chart here on Meta to try to confirm. Current price of the stock is 298.86. I'd be interested in 295, 297.50s to be honest. Only trading around 400, 392 a pop. We see this, guys. Look at how we stopped perfectly here. I like this move here on Meta. I'd like to get over that price and let's rock and roll on this thing here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of scratch. Let's see what I can use as a stop loss on this Meta. Fuck, man, I don't like that the hourly chart looks great in the 5-minute. It's right here at supply. There's the break. There's the initial break. Excuse me. Something like on Meta, you'd have to probably honestly use 298 as a stop. 298. Spen's just kind of like riding this upward move here. I'd look for the 298 to continue to hold, which for me on my chart on a 5-minute time frame is that 10 SMA. I'd be looking for this to kind of hold. This linear regression here on a 5-minute time frame is the reason for no continuation. If this wasn't here, guys, that linear regression wasn't there, this thing would be exploding right now. So there's another little bit of a push here on Meta. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if she wants to work for us here a little bit. Market kind of made us sit back and wait for an hour and a half there. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a push here. What are the futures doing? Anyone long on the futures here? That NASDAQ push, guys. Is anyone long on that NASDAQ push? Terry, I hope you got out of the ES. I'm assuming that, you know, it pushed back over the 45.10s. Yeah, now we're back into the 413s on the ES. So I like the ES here. I like the ES to hold and continue. Terry, protect yourself, please. Hope you're out of that trade. Again, it's just not worth it to let it hold and do its thing. You're coming off of a floor here. You know, there'll be another entry on this thing short through the low of day if we want to take that. Again, you know, if the ES really starts to pop this 414, you know, it's got room. It's got 3 points up to the upside here. So this is like the last kind of hoorah here for the bulls, right? If the bulls can't do it here and hold this and go, you know, red to green on the day, I would expect that the bears do take control of the rest of the day here. But again, who are we, right? We're stupid. I'm the stupidest guy that's that trades, right? I mean, I don't know anything. Just gonna read the charts here. That NQ does have room to push into the 60s, guys. If we are long on the NQ and you did get in long over, you know, the high of day, even if you got in at the 20s, you're up 10 points. Even if you got in on the initial kind of move here, right? The initial kind of move coming back down into this 20 SMA when this green candle took out red off of support here, you know, you're up around 30 points. Again, I don't know if anyone is actually in the NQ, but if we're in the NQ, guys, let's please take some profits on the way up. We kind of see the way the price action has been going today. We don't want to give a market on a day like today any chance to play around with us, right? We want to get in, we want to make some cash, and we want to get out. That Meta put in a nice move here, pop all the way to 299. 299, slightly pulling back here a little bit. 299.30s, 299.40s, out of Meta 324. Yeah, no time to mess around. Like you notice that, guys? and took it for Cody. Good job. If you took it for 15 points, that's a great job, because today's not a perfect day. Also, the rest of you guys, notice Andre got in on the Nvidia earlier, got in on the Meta earlier, right, guys? You know, we do not want to mess around on a day like today. What does that mean? We're not here to sit and hold these things all day long, hoping for something. If we can get in and we can make a little bit of money here, we've got to take what the market is going to give us. Okay, we've got to really take what the market is going to give us. Just due to the fact that, you know, the only thing we can trust is the money that we're putting into our pockets, right? Is there potential for us to make a lot of money if the market continues to go? Sure. Am I the type of guy that's going to sit here and hope? No. I've got to take what's mine, and I've got to run, right? I've got to take what's mine, and I've got to run. That's what we do as day traders, right? Again, this meta, you know, multiple days here. I'm going back to last Tuesday, highs, you know, highs on Wednesday, highs on Thursday, highs on Friday. We're back up here into this top of the range. Meta could potentially looking at a good breakout this week here, right? Look at Meta. If it starts to reclaim its 50-day moving average and starts to take out 301, nothing but open airspace into 311 on a daily chart here. However, that's just looking at the last 4 to 5 days. If you look at the larger body of work going back to the end of July on Meta, again, I'm not a bull or a bear, but this is setting up for one huge kind of pull to the downside, right? So what's going to negate that pull to the downside is if Meta starts to really reclaim its 50-day moving average on the daily time frame and put in this high here, all the way up to around 310. That would give us a strong enough move from the bulls case in point that the next pullback could pull back into this range, and then we can continue to go higher. What I don't want to see is a little bit of a spike, and then, you know, later on this week we start to lose this 10-day moving average, get below 292. God forbid that happens. This is going to be a drastic fall here. So we need to be ready on both sides. But as of right now, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, we're consolidating sideways. So if we're just looking at a short-term sideways move here, if we get that breakout through 301 on a daily chart, we look very, very solid on Meta. Again, on a macro picture, if we're looking at it for the next week to 2 weeks, any breakdown below 292.86 on Meta is a definite pull into 279 and then 273. So let's keep our eyes on Meta on the daily, right? Because we do have potential moves that look good on both sides. And same thing on the NQ's daily chart. We broke out and reclaimed that 50-day moving average almost 5 days ago now on the 29th. We've been consolidating sideways. This move looks like it's ready to break out to the high side, guys. But again, piece of news, some numbers, that can change. If the NQ loses its daily 50-day moving average again, and the bulls could not, you know, hold on to greatness here, right? They can't manufacture a run here going to the high side in continuation, and we lose the 50-day moving average, we've got to be thinking short all the way back down to prices as low as, you know, 15,100s, guys. Harry, are you still in the room, buddy? What did you do with that ES short? Did Did that little pop make us get out of that, or? Guys, in the chat, there's 7 people listening in this morning. 7 people listening in. I don't know how many of you guys are actively trading or have taken trades. How many of us here are green on the day? I know Andre's green. That's 1. Cody, you took MNQ for 15. I'm assuming this is 2 that are green. Samuel, you're red. Are we down red a lot, Sam? I mean, we can look for another trade to see if we can scratch us back here. But again, I don't want to overtrade. Okay, I don't want to overtrade, especially that you're on a combine. I don't want to overtrade. How much are we down, Sam, if you don't mind sharing? Getting a little push here to the top side on the ES. And also, again, guys, for those of you guys who are listening, we're still holding the 5 SMA on the 5-minute time frame on NQ here. Again, like I'm saying, we potentially have some room into the 40s and 50s here on the NQ. Again, guys, one of the last things that you guys can do, especially that you're in this room, you're in this community, is stay quiet, right? There's no reason to be embarrassed. There's no reason to be, bashful if, you're red and someone else is green. That we don't really care about that type of shit here. I don't really care if you made $10 today or you made $10,000 today. To me, it's all the fucking same, right? A win's a win and a loss is a loss. Yeah, see, and that's on 1. That was on 1 mini. So Sam, I would definitely, for the remainder of this combine that you're on, let's go to MNQ, buddy. Let's go to MNQ. Let's crawl our way back on that 800. It's possible. It's doable. You've got that $3,000 drawdown, so you're a long ways away from getting stopped out here. But yeah, if we can start to crawl our way back, again, we don't want to over trade, but again, we definitely don't want to continue to paper cut ourselves to death. Is anyone long on the NQ? Coming out of this demand zone that we were speaking about, around 7 o'clock, look at how we kind of held that floor. When I put in those 2 boxes, we kind of held that floor there. We're punching into the 45s. You're long. Okay. You have room into the 50s here. You have room into the 50s. Sam, I definitely think about taking profits. If we can get into the 50s here, take something off, right? This market is you don't want to give it too much room. When did you get in? What price? We're trading at 544s. What price did you get in? Yeah, the NQ's got to get over this 560s. It's got to get over 560s. If the NQ can't get over 560s, guys, be careful. Watch out. This thing's going to come right back down. And this market does not care. It will snap you out of the trade. That potential is in the 50s here on the NQ, so be very, very careful. The closer we get, the bigger the chance this comes down 10, 15 points, then continuing up 15 points. The closer we get into these 50s here, and I think we just ticked 50 here. So we top ticked like 51 and a half. There's the 51 and a half again. 52s, 53s. Guys, if you're in on long on the NQ, let's take some fucking gains here. You're coming right into an area of supply. Don't ask any questions. It's just, you're going to get some selling pressure here. The NQ is taking out the previous hour highs. It's also trying to confirm getting out of this top channel here. We're currently trading in the 54s. Again, first initial move is going to put in a high over supply, and then it's going to pull back. The reason why it does that, good job, Sam. The reason why it does that is because it wants to test, is there buyers? Is this market going to be strong? Okay. 1 second, guys. I keep getting these fucking phone calls. 1 second. Guys, did anyone take the profits on the NQ? It went all the way up to the 70s, guys. Did anyone get in on those profits? Through the first hour's highs, had room to the 50s and 60s we were talking about. Remember, guys, we were talking about that potential of getting into this to the 50s. That was where we would have wanted to have taken profits, and we overshot that, into the 60s and 70s. Again, great little move there, guys. And sometimes it just takes being patient. I just hope everyone kind of understood that, right? Like understood that thought process. That first breakout of the range here to the top side, like we were discussing this morning, right? When we were going sideways this morning, we were coming down to demand, getting stopped at supply. The thought process was this: when we break one of those levels, guys, that was the level that we wanted to play on, right? Again, that's what we need to identify. Even if you guys didn't take that move long, this last move that we had long, as long as you identify, hey, I remember, right? Put yourself in that situation because it's fresh. It's only 2 hours off an hour and a half off the open. We're still very fresh. When we were, remember when those of you guys who were here on the stream, do we remember when I put these boxes in, right? The red box and the green box, that supply and demand zone, okay? When we were trading with inside of a range, what were we looking to do? Sell at supply, buy at demand. So I remember clearly, because I will tell anyone this, and I've done the live trading one-on-one with people, I've done recaps with the coaching sessions. When we're range bound trading and we're going sideways and the market seems like it's an absolute circus show, when we break out to one of those sides, normally that's going to be the side we're going to look to play. Okay, so when we broke out here at 7:20 in the morning, we broke out, we put in the high, immediately it pulled back, right? Immediately it pulled back. Okay, however, does that breakout spot hold? It pulled back a little bit more than I would have liked to see. However, we never really lost the 20 SMA or came back down to that demand zone, and we proceeded to rip, right? So even if we break the top supply zone, automatically light bulb goes off. This is the side I need to be thinking about playing, because now we've confirmed breaking out of this range that we've been in, this chop that we've been in. So the next move that I would be looking to play would have been the high side here over 15,520s. That's why I was stressing we got to start taking profits off in the 50s, guys, maybe potential to the 60s. It overshot and went to the 70s. Again, we're not going to capture the whole move entirely, but as long as we can kind of get in on that move, we can see the maximum potential, right? So the potential was in the 20s to go long once we broke out of the range, right? So this range, once we broke out here, we put in a high, we pulled all the way back, but we held, right? We're no longer back to the bottom of the range here. We held, and then we just ripped to the upside. So this move was the move that you wanted to be in on. And Sam, you took a little bit of that. You took a piece of that. You took a piece of that there for 225. Great trade there. Did anyone else take the ES? Did anyone else take NQ? Did anyone else take any of the futures or any of the options? Our meta, guys, that we were discussing earlier. Did anyone get in on the meta, right? If we're trading the options, did anyone get in on meta, right? What were we looking at? Confirming the previous hour's highs, right? That first hour high. Now, if we look at the first hour high, it was, sitting at 299. It's punched all the way up to 301.45. So that's almost $2 and some change there. Did anyone take the meta? I know Andre took it, posted his gains up there. He got into that meta. If I pull up the big chart here and we kind of, go into reason a little bit more as to why we were looking at this trade. If we look at meta, look at the first opening range candle. Can everyone see this opening range candle? I hope this is clear enough, right? Big enough. Okay. So look at on meta, right? We punched in this high to the linear regression. We put in that high there. Okay. That's what we're looking for to see get confirmed. This high price get confirmed on the next hour candle. We are over supply with airspace. When we have supply, we got a demand below, right? As soon as we can take out the first hour's highs with airspace, we want to be long on that play. Andre took it. I took a little piece of this as well. And that's just the way. So sometimes, yes, the moves, they don't come, right off the bell. They don't come in the first 5 minutes. We don't need to be so paranoid that we have to catch something as soon as the market opens, right? I think I even spoke about it. The 297.50s was the option contracts that I was looking at. The 297.50s were trading at around $400, right? They were trading around $400. So for example, if you go buy 10 contracts, it's $4,000 roundabout, right? Give or take. That's a $4,000 that you're putting into the trade. Obviously, we're not going to lose $4,000, but the potential is there. And again, even if you have a smaller account where you can afford to trade $4,000 worth, it's $400 an options contract. It's not that much, right? Like if we can't buy $400-$500 for one options contract to at least learn this skill set, we've got to get back on our hustle, and getting back on our hustle could be, whether that means saving a little bit more money, putting some more money aside each and every single month, cutting something off, some type of expense. If we want to do this business, guys, we've got to have money. Without money, we are dead in the water, right? So again, if we're on the future side of things, you can utilize these prop firms to your advantage. Again, work the system. I trade for prop firms. I'm funded with multiple different accounts, different companies. I'm always running different evals, kind of trying to add to them. Have I blown up prop firm accounts? Sure, right? Like I learned real quick, it's pretty hard to trade minis on a prop firm. It's just you don't have enough slack, right? I don't care, even if you have the biggest account, you don't have enough slack. But once you get those prop firms funded, you can utilize them. Take your payouts, right? Take your payouts. Don't try to hit the home runs. Build up slowly. Take some money out, put it into a personal account. The whole goal here is to always have your own personal accounts. It's not to rely on prop firms. It's not to rely on one asset class. If you're currently trading futures, let's start to learn options, right? Look at it as an additional revenue stream. We don't want to put all of our eggs into one basket. We want to be able to make a little money on the option side. We want to make a little bit of money on the future side. We can kind of compound these multiple markets and multiple accounts to, really build up your cash flow to where you can, Meta is still punching up here. 301.75. I've got an old level there at 301.75. 301.75 is actually marking up to something else. I had it up on the I think it was on the daily time frame. So if we look at Meta, guys, oh yeah, it's when we're looking at the daily. So look at Friday's highs on Meta, guys. Over that 301.75 on Meta, this has got room to explode. Yeah, we talked about this. 309, 310, right? Sometimes I talk about so many stocks, I forget which ones are which. But remember when we were talking about this, guys, the short-term consolidation, right? We had to pop over the 50 here. This short-term consolidation could be a move and an explosive move back into 310s on Meta. Bigger picture, yes, anything below that, 292 could be an absolute washout. But again, let's give the bulls the benefit of the doubt until then, right? Let's give the bulls the benefit of the doubt until then. We don't want to guess, right? We just want to react. We don't want to guess. Also, same thing with the NQ, right? We've been holding the 50-day moving average here. We're holding. Now we're consolidating. We're going sideways. The next move that breaks out is going to be a loss of the 50 SMA. We're going to get explosion to the downside. Or once we start to take out the high side of around the 650s, right? So about 100 points away. If we can start to take that out, we're going to get an explosion to the top side. How we doing out there, guys? Anyone else trade? How are we looking out there? Yeah. Also, for some of you newer guys who may be listening in who just joined the room, again, if this is like your first 1, 2, 3 times, you know, you in the room where you've been on the live streams, a lot of information gets thrown around, a lot of numbers, a lot of charts going back and forth. A lot of the guys who, you know, have been trading with me for a while, they kind of understand my lingo, the way that I talk, and this, that, and the other. For those of you newer guys who aren't familiar yet, okay, aren't familiar yet, or looking for some additional help, again, do not hesitate. Send me a DM. What are the biggest troublesome spots that you have? Let me know what you guys trade. You're trading options or futures. Let me know. I'm on a personal account, prop firm account. That way we can kind of dive into that. Let's build out a trading plan, right? Let's build out a trading plan for you guys. Again, you know, I trade full time. This is what I do. So I have no problem sitting here passing along any knowledge that I do have, you know. And by no stretch of the means am I a perfect trader, like, you know, but I have been around the markets long enough to understand what it takes to be profitable. I don't care who you are, how long you've been trading, how much success or non-success you have had. We can get you consistent on any level. I don't care. I'm that confident. That is one thing that I am confident on. What I can't do is trade for you. What I can't do is just give you levels, right? Like I can't just give someone a level like, hey, buy, like, again, not only one is it illegal, okay, but two is that I can't tell someone, hey, buy at 15,539, theoretically speaking, right? Sell at this price, because sometimes it doesn't get to that sell price and you're like, well, why didn't it? Well, there's multiple different reasons why the market doesn't have to do anything. My biggest thing is I want you guys to be able to identify how to read the price action so that you personally don't need me. You don't need anyone else. You can do this 100% on your own. Again, because the moment that clicks, it is game over. It is game over for you, meaning that you can do this anytime you want, any day that the market is open, from anywhere with the freaking internet connection, okay? And it's a skill set that is going to be here for life, guys, for life. Again, like I said, we are not saving lives. 90% of this game is controlling the emotions. 90% of this game is being patient. 90% of this game is accepting defeat, that we will lose. Reading the charts, clicking buy and sell is the easiest part of this game. Anyone can do that. Figuring out what makes you tick is the hard part. Figuring out how to master your own emotions to be able to work with them on a day in and day out basis is the big part. It took me a long time to realize what I was doing wrong. You know, my biggest problem that I had when I first started that I had to work with was over trading. That was my biggest problem. It wasn't reading the charts. I had a pretty good grasp of that pretty early on how to pick up the chart patterns, you know, and I've used multiple different strategies until I've come to what I've built now, but that was never the hard part. My hard part was not accepting the days that moved slow. So when I would make a little bit of money, I felt that if I sat at the screen longer or I found another trade, if I just took a couple more trades, I would make what I made yesterday. That was the death of me. Not necessarily mean that I've blown up my accounts and not been able to trade, but it's what caused me to lose a lot of money. And it caused a lot of stress, you know, and in this business, stress is the last thing that we want. We want to be clear. We don't really want to care. I don't really care. Like, that's what I'm telling you. You can tell me you made 20 bucks today. That's fantastic. Let's do that 1,000 more times. And let's see where we're at 1,000 trades later at taking 20 bucks, right? That account's going to grow. that profit's also going to grow as well. So don't worry about trying to be this rock star trader that's making $10,000 days. It's just take your time. If you're really serious about it, if you're really serious about this, and everyone has, everyone's pockets are different. Everyone has a different idea as to why they're doing this, right? Is it supplemental income? Is it potentially to retire? Is it potentially for savings account? Is it potentially to work full time? We all have different ideas, right? Number one, we need capital. There's no way around that. Without capital, we can just forget about it. Number two is our emotions. And number three is keeping the lights on so we can do this every single day. Once those three things start to click, you guys won't need me, right? That's the whole goal here. You won't not need me. You won't need YouTube. You won't need no trading book out there. It doesn't, no signals group, no cutting edge strategy. Guys, ever since the stock market has went electronic, where traders are off the pit floors. I mean, it's been the same, right? Emotions and levels. Everything else is just a dress up. Okay, everything else is a dress up. Order blocks, fucking areas of liquidity, supply and demand, VWAP, moving averages, RSI, MACD, Fibonacci's. It's all a dress up of the same thing. That's what you have to understand. It's all emotional trigger points that get triggered, that cause an emotional reaction of buyers and sellers. This is an open marketplace. When we lose a specific level, triggers an emotional reaction to someone who is long, causing them to sell. When we come into an emotional area where buyers step in and run the price higher, it triggers an emotional reaction to cause sellers to get out of their position, causing the price of the stock to go higher. So when you understand where these emotional trigger points are, you can play around them with a lot much more greater success. Looking at the NQ here, the emotional trigger point was taking out the high of day through the chop zone. As soon as we did that, we ran into the next area that was going to cause emotional pain for anybody short in the 15,550s. When we cleaned up those sellers and those sellers got out of the position, it quickly shot up 20 points to 580, 570s. What is the emotional trigger point back to the downside? Anyone who is long, okay, look at this. Anyone who is long here in this box does no longer want to be long through this bottom area. Why? Because the next emotional trigger point is down here. And if this emotional trigger point for longs, right, anyone who took the breakout and did not sell is now feeling financial pain. So they're going to start getting out. So if they start to get out, what's the next emotional trigger point would be here. Okay? Because that's going to take out everyone who's been long, and buyers are going to get the second opportunity to step back in to the price of the stock or index or whatever you're trading. Does that make a little bit of sense, guys? So if we can learn where these emotional points are in the market, I don't care what you call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. Supply and demand, you call it. I mean, everyone's got their own way of trading, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't really matter. like people come into the room and they say, oh, RSI is overbought, RSI is oversold. RSI can stay overbought and oversold for extended periods of time. What is that telling you? That the RSI is overbought. You know, what is someone really telling you in layman's terms, like in stupid terms, right, guys? Because again, we're not that smart, right? So what is an overbought RSI telling you? It's telling you that sellers could be stepping in because the price of the stock has been extended. That's all it's telling you. That's all it's telling you, that there's an emotional trigger point when the RSI gets to this level. What is the VWAP telling you, right? The volume weighted average price. What is it telling you? That the accumulation of where buyers and sellers feel comfortable is around this stupid line that's on your screen, okay? So if we get below VWAP, what is that telling you? That emotional pain is coming in for the buyers, for people who are long. So we don't really want to be long if we're trading below the VWAP. What do the moving averages tell you? What is the 20 SMA telling you? The 20 SMA is giving you the average price of the last 20 candles that have been printed on whatever time frame you're looking at. So if you're looking at the 5-minute time frame, the last 20 candles average price is your 20 SMA. So what is that telling you? Do you really want to be long, right? Do you want to be long if we're trading well below the last 20 candles? Probably not. Why? Because where is the emotional pain point going to be, right? So when you start to incorporate this big chart and you start to look at the overall big picture, we can really start to see and paint in between the lines of where buyers and sellers are going to get emotional. If we know that this game is 80-90% emotional and psychological, where are those trigger points where buyers can step in and run through sellers? Where are those points that sellers can step in and run through these buyers? Then it's our job as a scalper or as a day trader to get in, assess our risk, meaning how much money we're playing with, what is our position sizing on contracts, shares, stocks, whatever you're playing, and push those chips to the middle of the table and say, I am going to play this emotional trigger point here, and if I am wrong, this is my stop loss. If I am wrong, or if I am right, where potentially would be the next area where buyers can step in. Again, when he comes back from vacation, guys, Biggs is really good. His name in here is a Biggs 003 or 033. He's really good at shorting tops and buying bottoms. So for example, if I was to give you an idea here, as you're reading price action, you're reading candlesticks here, we broke out, we came to supply here, we put in a high, guess what? There's no follow through here. Guess what? There's no follow through here. We can't get back over the high here. Guess what happens when we lose this linear regression here? What's going to be happening? An emotional selling point here for the buyers, right? So what can we do? You mark this out. This is your hard stop loss. I'm getting out here. I'm going to sit short here. Where am I going to sit short? To the next level of demand here. Where am I sitting short to? Next level of demand here. Make sense, right? Like you'll get these setups each and every single day, right? You got it in the beginning of the day. Let me take this off. You got it in the beginning of the day when we were trading down here at demand, right? Look at how we were trading down here at demand. What could a true buyer could have done? Well, every time going back to pre-market, every time we were in this zone, 440s, 450s, buyers are stepping in. You could have legitimately gave yourself between 436 and 447 a 10-point kind of zone here. You could have bought anywhere in this zone and told yourself, I'm just going to hold it until that emotional trigger point gets triggered and they take out my lows. Until they take out my lows, I am long. I don't care if you were long here, you were long here, you're long here, you're long here, you're long here. It doesn't matter where you were long at. As long as we don't take out the lows, you're sitting, you're bottom fishing. You know, how many of you guys have been fishing? What do you do when you fish? You cast the line out, you let the weight drop down to the bottom or at the top, whatever, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. What happens? You get a little bit of a bite, you get a little bit of a tug. So until we lose the bottom zone here, we're just sitting. We're just sitting. Choppiness doesn't matter. You want to know what gets you out of trades? You're oversized. You're down 500, you're down 1,000, you're down 2,000 because you have too much size on the table. You can't even stomach the ups and downs. And even this, guys, I mean, now when you look at it in hindsight, right? Because again, I say this all the time. Oh, everything looks so perfect in hindsight, right? Everything looks so clear when we look back at the charts. The last 20 SMA play that we had was coming off of a demand zone, getting back over the 20. Yes, we understood we had the 200 and we had the supply zone. However, do I want to be a buyer off of demand coming off the floor? Or do I want to be a buyer up here? You could have essentially at 705 went long on the NQ. Your entry price would have been 478. This ran all the way up to 577. This was a 100-point move. Nobody captured this, myself included. Why? You know, ask yourself, why didn't you get long here? I teach this all day for free on YouTube, right? What do I say? 20 play, closes over, use a 1-bar stop, get long on confirmation, sit. Why did no one take it? You want to know why no one took it? Because of this, right? And I don't mean taking a scalp. Why did no one catch 100 points on this thing? Why did no one catch 100 points? You want to know why? Well, the market was up and then it was down, then it was up. I didn't want to get chopped out. I took a losing trade. I lost. I didn't really trust it. What if it came back down? You second guessed yourself, right? You second guessed yourself the whole way and psyched yourself out, myself included, right? I mean, I stuck to the option side today. I haven't played futures, but you know, you psych yourself out because market's choppy. Market's not doing anything. We're getting stopped out. But literally, we could have gotten long here, right? Again, I have 2,000 videos on YouTube and probably 500 of them are talking about the same strategy. It's the same strategy. 20 play. I don't even have a name for it. It's just 20 play. That's it. And that's a perfect and logical and reasonable explanation, Marvin. Of course, in hindsight, looking back at it, this looks very easy, right? That's why doing these live streams, I'm trying my best to let's get the analyzation of price action in real time going, right? I never spoke about this 20 play because of the chop, okay? For some of the newer traders out there, I understand that if this was to pull back and now you're down 30, 40 handles, you might stop yourself out prematurely and it runs. That's a big mental defeat. The biggest level that we could have played was let's break out of supply. This is why I put this box here. Let's try to analyze where we're stopping. Let's try to analyze where we're stopping to the bottom and to the high side. When we do get the breakout, which was here at 720, okay, we got the breakout. Here's the close. Let's get into the long play. As long as we're holding this 20 SMA, guys, right? Because what's the strategy? Like, you know, like over the 20, we're long. Below the 20, we're not long anymore. So like you have a hard stop loss here. You know, you kind of hold this area, right? Even on a 1-bar stop, right? Even on a 1-bar stop, here's something too that everyone needs to realize. Because if you're getting in on this candle here that I just pointed out, your 1-bar stop is there. This candle here is below your 1-bar stop. Okay? This is a very tough predicament. Because in this particular situation, the 20 SMA is so close that if you use this as a stop loss, you're out, and literally 20 minutes later, this thing runs 50, 60 points. So what do you have to do? You've got to analyze the risk. If you're trading 1 micro or 1 mini, trade 5 micros. If you're trading 5 micros, trade 2, right? I would rather you guys trade 1. Let's do the math. If we would have gotten into this play, where do we break out at? Here's our high that we put in. Okay, here's our high. We would have been getting into this play. So 720 is our reason why. 725 is our entry candle. We get into this play and immediately this thing pulls back from 522 all the way to 581. 40 points. There's no way in hell anyone is sitting through a 40-point decline trading multiple mini contracts. There's no way in hell. It's just not going to happen. You're going to get yourself blown up if you do that, and you are wrong, okay? Now here's where the position sizing factor comes into play. If you played one micro, 40 points decline is $80. How many of you guys are going to be upset about losing $80? Right? $80. You know, we shit $80 around this room, right? $80 not even going to pay for our cup of coffee for the week, right? It's a joke, but what I'm saying is $80 is nothing, right? On the big picture. Okay, so we sit through 80 points. Why didn't we stop out on a 1-bar stop, right? Don't you say to stop out on a 1-bar stop? Look how close to 20 SMA is. We're within 10 points here, 5 points. There's no way in hell I'm going to stop out on a 1-bar stop if I've got this support here and we're over the 20, right? I've got to give it that room. I've got to. Because if I know that if it loses this 20 SMA and it closes below it, guess what's going to happen? We're coming right back down to demand. I don't want to be a part of that, but I will give it this. We're only long one contract, right, guys? One MNQ contract. Okay, so when the price comes back up, you know, if our entry price was what? What is this price here, right? What is this price? We close over 512s. We get in somewhere around, I'll give you guys slippage or whatever, 515. Let's say we got in at 515, right? 515s. This goes up from 515 all the way up to 77. 50 points. In 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. 50 points on one contract is $100. Yes, is $100 a lot? No, I get it. It's not a lot of money, okay? However, if we took that $100, we can come back tomorrow and we can take another 100. And guess what we can do next week? Take another 100. And the week after, another 100. And guess what happens over 30 days, over 60 days, over 90 days? Those $100 have now added up, and now we've made $2,000 profit, $3,000 profit. Now we can play 2 contracts. Instead of making $100, this move with very, very low stress would have been $200. And if we played 3 micros, it would have been closer to $300. And now that starts to become a good day. That's how you build good weeks. Does that make sense? Catching 50 points, trading 10 minis is fantastic. But are you going to sit there through $20,000 worth of drawdown? Realistically, no. You know, trading 10, 15, 20 micros looks good if you can capture 30, 40 points. Are you realistically going to sit there down $1,000 before the move even had enough time? Like, you see what I'm saying, guys? Like, when we start to analyze this in real time, yes, we were choppy. Yes, but the rules were very simple to the game this morning. As soon as we break out and we put in a high here, boom, this chop becomes invalidated. It's invalid at that time, okay? This range, whatever you want to call it, you want to call this chop, you want to call this range, I don't care what you call it. We broke out here. Okay? So when we break out, whatever side we break out to, we have to assume that the market is going to continue to go in that direction. So when we get the confirmation to get in, it immediately pulls back 40 points. So what happens to 90% of traders who haven't done this business consistent long enough? They stop themselves out because they're oversized. And then they say, you know, it doesn't have to be this strategy. Strategy doesn't work. It's too much of a drawdown. It's too much of this. It's too much of that. Maybe I missed something. It's because the market was choppy. You start making excuses for your wrongdoings, and your wrongdoings are your size. Yes, I understand it feels good to make more money when you have more size. But if on this particular play that ran 50 points plus, if you can't even stomach, right, allowing the move to even have enough time to work, after we're over the 20 off a demand zone, how are we ever going to be consistent, right? And let's point something out here, right? Let's point something out here. This move has been pulling back, right? Where is it pulling back to? Where is it pulling back to, guys? Our original breakout. Oh, shit. Our original breakout spot. Right? Does anyone see how that works? Notice the candle here. Our reason why candle. Outside the range. Our entry candle. Our absolute hard stop 20 SMA. We see the new high. Look at the pullback. Where does the pullback come back to? Our original breakout zone. It's kind of funny how that works, right? You guys can't even make this type of shit up, right? You can't make this up, guys. This is we are analyzing this in real time. You cannot make this up. We were looking at this level to break. We got the breakout. We pulled back. We back tested. We put in that high. Profits should have been taken on the run up here. Okay, no more continuation. We start to fall. Where would be on runners? Where would be your emotional trigger level for a stop loss? Well, look at when we put in a high here. There's no new high. There's no new high. Guess what's going on here? If red starts to take out a previous green, let's get out. This is your stop out candle here on your runners. This is your entry. This is your run up. Money was to be made here. Okay. Where do we come back down to? The original emotional level here. Do we see how that works, guys? Anyone else take any trades out there? Guys, I'm going to get ready to go get a coffee here and did anyone take the ES? ES gave us a nice play here as well. You know, really breaking out over that 45 14s. Did anyone take the ES? That ran up 5-6 points there. We're back falling with inside the range on the video. We're consolidating here. Nice consolidation on Tesla. We can start to look for some continuation on Tesla over 254. Tesla's up $8 again. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to start chasing Tesla now, but look at the breakout off the open here on Tesla. Jeez. I think we all missed the boat on that one. I think, did Andre take a little bit of the Tesla? No, he took the video. And look at the meta, how it pulled back, guys. So that long that me and Andre were in on pulled all the way back. That's why it's so important to know that the assets that you trade, what is their true range, right? What am I looking for on Nvidia and Tesla? $1, $1.50, $2, I'm out. What am I looking for on something like Meta? 80 cents, $1, $1.25, I'm out. What am I looking for after entry on NQ? 15, 20, 30 points, I'm out. What am I looking for on the ES? 4, 5, 6 handles, I'm out. Why? Because you're going to have a higher level of success trading these moves, these pivots, these entries, this supply and demand, whatever you want to call it. You're going to have a better success rate in profitability if you understand how much they're going to move when they move. If you're just a sitting duck and you got in onto Meta because it broke the previous hour's highs or it broke the pre-market highs, or you know, or you're making money on it and it's like, I'm going to hold it. Guess what? You're all the way back down to nothing. You went up and you went down. I don't even know what Andre took on his. I think he took $400. So he took $400 or $300. If Andre was still sitting in this, he'd be down $200. Or he'd be even, right? So understand, what is it that you're trading? How much, what's the realistic expectation? What's the realistic expectation? Yeah, it'd be great if Meta ran 10 points today, but what's the realistic expectation? 80 cents, $1, $1.25, take your profits, move it along. Show continues. We can do this on a day in and day out basis. This market moves every day, guys. Some days better than others, obviously, but we are back to the range on the ES. So now, if you were really to draw out like some supply and demands, what I would do is I would take some of these top wicks here. Okay, I'd take some of these top wicks. I'd use the high of day as the top side. I'm going to make this red. Okay. An obvious floor here, right? An obvious floor. We've touched it here. We've touched it here, here, here. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to take some of these wicks. I'm going to draw a demand zone. It's going to be put at the bottom wick here. It's going to be green. It's going to signify to me that there's buyers that step in when we get into this kind of range. And now when I zoom in, what does this look like? Back to the middle of the range. Price is very undecisive as to which direction it wants to go, right? Anyone else have any questions, guys, on anything? Because I'm gonna step out here, go get some coffee. Also, Marvin, kind of going over your comment there. That's a big problem with a lot of traders. It's not just you. I do it all the time as well, but it's something that we have to work with. There's only two potential outcomes that are going to happen. So for particular, on this move where you did not partake in it because you felt that there was going to continue to be more chop, we can't really think, right? What's going to happen? We're going to win or we're going to lose. Let's just size ourselves appropriately so that if we do lose and we are wrong, it's not going to devastate us. But if we are right, we can make a little cash. The sooner we kind of identify that as cookie cutter as that may seem, that's the gist of it, guys. There is no secret sauce, right? If you have been expecting to find a secret sauce, there's not one out there, right? It's like we have an edge technically based on whatever strategy we're using or levels or emotional pain points that we're using, supply and demands. That's an edge, right? So we do have a slight edge in the market. So the only thing we can do is push our chips to the table and allow the edge to play out. And if the edge is wrong, then we know that we're wrong. Technically, we'll see that on the charts. We can protect ourselves and get out of that and then continue to move along with our day, right? It's just being oversized and being wrong is devastating. That's what keeps traders at a standstill. In the beginning, it's tough. We have to play small in the beginning, right? Guys, if you were sitting here telling me, hey, you know what, hey D, I got 500,000, I got $1 million, liquid. I got $1 million. I don't have anything to do with it. It's like I got $1 million sitting in my account. I'm looking to play around a little bit. Your emotional stress is so low because you have that amount of money just sitting there. You wouldn't even think twice of it. It's like, so when we're trying to grow our accounts, we think so much about the money because there's such a huge emotional attachment to whatever money that we're trading or trying to obtain. But But yeah, like unless you were to tell me, I've got $1 million, sitting in my brokerage account, cash liquid, like that's just ready to be put on the chopping block, you got to start small. And nobody wants to start small. Nobody wants to start small. But it's like this. Time's going to pass regardless. That's the only thing we can't control in this life. Time. It continues to go with or without you. Remember that. Okay? So what's going to continue to happen is days are going to continue to pass. So why are we in such a rush to make a lot of money in the beginning stages? Right? We can definitely make a lot of money when we've been doing this for a while. We've got a good account built up. We've got a level of confidence and experience from doing it over and over and over. We can definitely size up and go for those bigger trades. But in the beginning, we really have to do the grunt work. It's just like someone looking to lose weight. You're 30 pounds overweight. You're not going to lose 30 pounds in a week, buddy. It's just not going to freaking happen, right? It's not going to happen. It's just like someone who attends college. You're not going to get that diploma after the first semester. It's going to take you 4 years before you earn that bachelor's, right? And then it's going to take time after that to go locate a job, build a resume, do interviews, internships, whatever it's going to take to get into that profession. Time is the only thing that you can't control. You have to start somewhere. And even some of the traders out there that have told me, and it's not directly because I don't really know who's in the room. It's not directly towards anyone in my room, but I've talked to traders along the way over the past 5 years I've been doing this. Well, I've been trading 15 years. I know the way these markets are going. Well, if you've been trading for 15 years, something's obviously been going wrong, right? We didn't build the foundation because just because you've been trading for 15 years doesn't mean that you've been profitable all 15 years. What makes a profitable trader is paying the old Uncle Sam. When Uncle Sam's hitting you with that bill and you're paying that capital gains tax, which is a son of a you-know-what, okay? I would advise anyone who has had tremendous gains here, start getting your information for write-offs, taxes, and a separate savings account or something for those capital gains taxes. They do come. You do have to pay them, obviously. Here's a tip for anyone that is looking to do this full time or has made some decent money day trading. Whatever you make in profits, I take out 20%, right? 20%, put it in a separate account. Don't even look at it. When it comes time to pay old Uncle Sam, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more, maybe it's a little bit less, but guess what? You've got that bank account. You want to know what you don't do? You don't make a bunch of money. You don't make $100,000, go spend 80 grand of it, get hit with a $40,000 tax bill at the end of the year and be wondering what the hell's going on. You make $1,000, go throw $150 into another account, right? Throw 200, whatever. Throw something over there. Again, if you just trade for prop firms, it's a little different. You guys are set up on the prop firm side. You guys are a contractor, so you're going to get that 1099 at the end of the year. It's a little different. ES is kind of holding the middle of the range here, getting back over this 20 and 200 SMA. 20 and 200 SMA are very, very flat here. I would look for the next move to kind of have a little bit of a continuation, whether that is up to the top side or the bottom. Again, to the bottom, we would have to lose 45.08 before there's any real potential to the downside. You are getting this 20 SMA setup that you should be long on. If you are a sitting duck on the ES, meaning you're an ES trader, you are long here over 413. So you're up about 2 points on this move, 6 ticks, right? So again, what's your stop? If you want to give it the true 1 bar stop, you would give it around 45.09. If you want to use your entry candle, it'd be 45.11. You're going to shave yourself 2 ticks there. But that would be your stop loss. What's left to do? Sit and let the probabilities play out. Is it going to go? Who knows, right? Day's been going up and down all day long. I don't know if this is going to go or not. You know, I can't give you that clear indication. It's right in the middle. It's got just as good as it's got just as good of a chance of going to the top side supply or the bottom demand zone. All I can see from the charts is we are over the 20 and the 200 SMA here. And if I protect myself, what do I have to lose? 3-4 points? Okay, fine. So I lost 3 or 4 points. Oh well, right? Like, oh well. You know, and if you take 2 or 3 losses on the day, then hey, you know what? Say it's not the best day for me. My edge is not providing me enough sustainability today. I'm going to come back tomorrow, because guess what? The moment you start to over trade this and go back and forth and go back and forth and go back and forth, you lose all your money and all your confidence. And tomorrow, guys, could be the day where things just rip off the open or sink off the open, and you would have made a ton of money, but because you sat here all day and you traded, you know, every single move, and you got stopped out, you had no confidence to take the trades. Does that make sense, guys? So again, patience is key. You could lose 500 today and you could make 1,000 tomorrow. You could lose $100 today and make 300 tomorrow. As long as we can come back tomorrow, we are good. If you are green, seriously consider chopping it up for the day. There's no reason to sit here and continue to trade all day long if you are already profitable and already green. With that being said, guys, I will be in the Discord. I'm going to go get this coffee. I'm parched. Been talking now for about 2 hours. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. If you guys have any questions, if there is anything setting up that is worth a hoot, that's going to help anyone in the room, don't be afraid to throw it in the gold members. Again, to some of you guys who are new, who came in the room, and maybe you have some more questions on the strategy, or you have some questions on supply and demand, or how I'm using that big chart and what we should be looking for, how to draw the supply and demand zones on here, what to exactly look for. Guys, and is anyone long on the ES here? 45.13, you're up about 2-3 points. You know, don't be afraid. And again, if you are in a trade and you're stuck, what the worst thing to do is crawl into a ball and go sit in the corner. Use the rest of the guys in the room, right? Use the rest of the guys in the room. Don't hide. We all lose trades. Ain't nothing to be ashamed of, guys. I'll be back, guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit.